All right, so the crown jewels in the books. So let's run through this. We began with Lesnar Lashley. I love how these matches are just car crash. It just here's a big move, here's a big move. There's very little setup. It's like I'm gonna spear you. I'm gonna spear you through this. I'm gonna slam you into this. Lashley tweaked Lesnar's knee early on in the match, and it became kind of a focal point. Saw an F5. Lashley was able to get Lesnar in the hurt lock, and they did like I'm gonna run up the turnbuckle and fall on top of you for the 3 count. So it started out really well. These two have great chemistry, just two big beefy man slapping man meat. And then it ended with like a fall on top pin. I'm like, oh, okay. So Lesnar got his win back. Lashley didn't look too bad. Then Lashley did a little post match beatdown. I'm like, okay, so we've got enough for match 3. Could be a Mania match. Maybe they run again to Rumble. Give them the finish for that. So women's tag champ matches. Yes, I'm doing a virtual 10K later on. Women's tag match. Bliss, Asuka versus Damage Control. Decent match. I still think that Alexa Bliss and Kai are getting better chemistry, and she's getting.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Alexa. So Bliss, since the Bezos box listens in, and Kai are getting better chemistry. Same with Sky. We end up having a run-in with Nikki Cross towards the end. I'm like, all right, so Nikki Cross, Damage Control. There's 4 members for War Games, but it's 5-on-5. I'm like, okay, add in Ripley. And then you've got, probably Phoenix, Belair, Bliss, and Asuka. That would be a great time for Lynch to come back if she's ready. Or a Sasha Banks. Even a Charlotte, too. I think those work. So, new tag champs. Okay, that worked. Maybe think, oh man, is Belair going to lose to Bayley later on tonight? And then we get into the cage match with Drew and Karrion Kross. Solid match. Again, 2 big guys just throwing bombs at each other. That's what you want in this sort of match. It's a cage match, and I don't like the face like valiantly escaping the cage. No, that just seems so weird. So Drew tried to escape out through the door, but then Scarlett, of course, locked the door. And then Carrie tried to escape. She had to then unlock the door, which allowed Drew to get down the other side and get the victory by escaping the cage. And I'm like, it just seems so weird when a face wins a cage match by escaping the cage. It's like, I'm going to defeat you by leaving the cage. Unless, of course, you do the super defiant, like I hit my big finisher, you're laid out in the ring, I open the door and I step straight out and slam the door behind me. Then that works fine. This was okay. So Karrion Kross, better run than his first time. And solid match. Looks good. Judgment Day versus the OC. Again, this is the Rhea Ripley show. From her slamming Luke Gallows to her, I don't know who got with her and did like, okay, when Dominic's coming down, always do like the lean in and like talking to his ear. Play the temptress, play the seductor in this. She does it really well, especially when they're doing their group pose, and she's doing her, hanging onto the rope while doing her pose on top of the apron, the hardest part of the ring. And then when she does that, she then kind of leans into Dom. I don't know what she's saying. She could probably be giving him, like a video game cheat coach or something, and it wouldn't really matter because it's done in such a way that you're like, oh, if they want to turn Dom face, the crowd might actually pop for him instead of just, hating on him the whole time. Like he's Vicky Guerrero. Again, these 6, fantastic match. Of course, comes down to Rhea. It's like, oh man, if only the OC had a female member. Electric chair drop on AJ. Allowed him to get, stopped from doing a phenomenal forearm. Judgment Day gets the victory. I'm like, they're making them seem kind of like goofs, but it's Rhea Ripley every time. I like what they're telling there. This is a solid story with Judgment Day. I like it. Braun and Omos. Again, just two big beefy. This is our third big beefy dude match. And this is the beefiest of big beefy dudes. Omos just whooping the daylights out of Strowman. But Strowman hits a power slam towards the end, got the victory, and I'm like, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with, Omos looked really dominant, but Strowman eked out a win. I'm fine with that. It's okay when, the obviously much smaller face gets dominated by the guy who is a giant. And then just, like, oh, you made a mistake. I hit my finisher. 1, 2, 3. Again, solid match. Usos and the Brawling Brutes. Again, these guys have great chemistry. Looking forward to seeing the Usos run back with the New Day. I was like, 5-member War Games. Usos. Solo. Sammy Uso. Roman Reigns. It's like that would be an insane 5-man match. I don't know if Sheamus will be back from his honeymoon or not. If he is, Brawling Brutes are a 3-person group. Who else do you want to throw into that group as well? Could you do Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre, and somebody else? I don't know. Could you do New Day's Drew McIntyre and some other people? I don't know. Bloodline's got a lot of people that don't like them. This could be, and no one thought Usos was going to lose this, but Avalanche 1D made the Brawling Brutes look good. That's what you want. You want matches where both teams get over it. Bayley versus Belair, last woman standing. I like that they did the drones to make Bianca's lips and hair in the air. It's really cool. I mean, you can tell that they're like, we spare no expense. Really? What is expense? Oh, we are billionaires. We want to be entertained. Here's the hundreds of millions of dollars to entertain us for the evening. Here's drones. Here's fireworks. Here's camels. Whatever they want to do, they have the ability to do it. For them, price literally is no object. It's great when they bring in a golf cart. So they did a lot of the. It was still weird not seeing other members' damage control come down. Last woman standing, you'd almost think that you could do whatever you wanted to. So get towards the end. I liked Bayley throwing Belair like, I'll put you into a box. Just the box lid. Ref's counting. I'm like, yeah, I mean, technically she couldn't stand on the box. Like, I'm bizarrely okay with Bayley doing some sort of weird heel trickery to win this sort of match. Bayley then, of course, introduced a golf cart, because why not? Which then, of course, leads to Belair driving Bayley on a golf cart to then put her through a table which didn't break, which then you can tell Belair had, I'm breaking this table. But there's a powerbomb spot through the table. Like, okay. Is that our finish? No. 450 into some steel chairs. Looked wicked. The KOD onto the folding chair. I don't know if Bayley was trying to move it or was supposed to, the angle was off, but that looked rough. And then, since Bayley kept on trying to trap Belair in something for the victory, Bayley got trapped inside a ladder that Belair then slid under the bottom turnbuckle, so Bayley couldn't get out. And I went, I'm okay with this. Aside from the fact that, Bayley has lost yet again. I was like, had Bayley had won, then the War Games match would make a lot more sense, unless they want to do a 5-on-5 War Games where, like if Belair's team wins, the tag belts are on the line, maybe the main title's on the line. I mean, you can do some really crazy high stipulation match for War Games. Bray Wyatt promo was awesome. Love the fact he's feuding with himself. I mean, he logically carried a feud with The Undertaker for several months because Taker was only going to be showing up at WrestleMania. It's really good, super captivating. I can't wait for when Bray Wyatt's done and then he does an autobiography and then narrates it for Audible. As well as I'm looking forward to when they release that freaking theme song because it sounds awesome. I don't want to watch another version on YouTube with crowd noise removed. So now Logan Paul, Roman Reigns. Logan Paul did not look too much out of his element in this being his third match. He's super athletic, knows how to work a crowd. You can tell he loves the live aspect of it and the physicality of it. I'm like, this is pretty good. Logan Paul's buddies got involved after Logan did, I think, probably the first ever selfie top rope dive to put someone through a table. I'm like, that's probably a really awesome looking video because he did it up the phone. Like he jumped in the air like "Ah," and held onto the phone. I'm like, that's impressive. So then, of course, the Paul bloodline got involved, and then Jake Paul came down through some horrible work punches. I know that Logan has been working with Shawn Michaels. It looks like Jake had been working with Shane McMahon. Then Solo came down. I'm like, all right, Solo and Paul, Solo and Jake, kind of okay with this. If anything, Solo's probably like, listen, you can tag me a little bit, okay? I'm fine. I can take a potato. Don't worry. But then the rest of the bloodline kind of was like, oh, it's like Jake Paul stuck between Solo and the Usos. And then Logan was feeling Usi, made a big dive, got back into the ring, caught by a Superman punch, caught by a spear, 1, 2, 3. Solid match. I was like, man, Logan didn't seem out of his element in the main event at all. But of course, most people are like, if they wouldn't give the title to Drew in Drew's home country, would they give it to Logan Paul and Crown Jewel? But really, really well done match. Like that was solid. It was a solid event, top to bottom. The finish for the opening match, understand it in the long term, short term, not so great. But all in all, another very solid premium live event under the Triple H era.